Hi, it's Caitlin and I'm here with my June HHC swatch video, which includes some absolutely stunning nail polishes. And this month is pretty exciting for HHC because we have 4 new Bee's Knees lacquer polishes. I've got swatches of 3 of the 4 to share with you, as well as some comparisons. I'm sure you know the drill, but if not, the HHC shop features limited edition nail polishes. They are only available for pre-order from the 14th through the 21st of each month. I will link the shop down in the description. And there are a ton more polishes than what I have in my video, but what I have in my video is pretty sweet. So I think we should just get into the swatches. I'm going to start with the Bee's Knees Anniversary Trio, and these are a compensated review. So I received compensation for the Bee's Knees polishes that I'm showing off. And this one is called Lavamancy, and it is a red hot sister to an Act of Wrath with the same green to blue shimmer. So an Act of Wrath is one of my favorite Bee's Knees polishes, and of course I will be comparing it after I show off the initial swatch for anyone who's curious how they actually compare. And as you can see, this is definitely one of their sheer shimmer formulations. And after that second coat, my nail line is definitely still visible. So you will want 3 coats. And even after that third coat, there is a lot of shimmer going on, but if you look really closely, you could see my free edge. So this is definitely a polish. If you don't like free edge, then you might want to layer it over a complementary base cream. And you can see that it dries down very glossy on its own, but I always recommend top coat, and I am using the Cuticula Limitless top coat. So after 3 coats and top coat, you can see just how incredibly beautiful that shimmer is. It is very visible, and it is a very strong shift that you're going to get. As you can see here, that blue is very prominent when you are at a more extreme angle, and then when you're sort of out of direct lighting, it gives this green sort of golden shimmer to it. It's really beautiful, and if you've been missing Bee's Knees lacquer and their shimmers ever since they've stopped doing monthly collections, then I have a feeling you're going to be very excited about this anniversary trio. And here is the comparison. On my index and pinky, I have Lavamancy, and on my middle, I have an Act of Wrath. And then I thought maybe Zygaxis was similar. The base color is, but the shimmer just morphs it into an entirely different color. So Lavamancy is definitely less intense than an Act of Wrath in terms of the base color. It's lighter and more corally peach, whereas an Act of Wrath I found to be more like a magenta. So hopefully you can see the differences there. Next up is Aquamancy, and this one is a blue sibling to Dumicorn, and it's a cyan polish with the same glowy green to blue shimmer as Dumicorn, which has become a bit of a cult favorite from Bee's Knees lacquer. And this one, I just really like the shimmer in it because it complements the base color really beautifully, and it just creates a really aquatic looking nail polish overall. So again, this one is sheer. You're probably going to want to build it up in 3 coats or layer it over a complementary cream if you don't like visible free edge, or of course there's also the option of a visible nail line blurring base coat, but sometimes those can change the way a polish looks, so use any of those at your own risk, but of course it's also a fun way to change up how the polish looks. So these formulas are all similar. They're really easy to build up in 3 coats. They apply beautifully, dry quickly, and dry down relatively glossy, but when you add a top coat, it definitely brings back the shine in a really beautiful way. So I always recommend top coat. And hopefully you can already see just how glowy this polish is, but you're going to see in a second really, truly how glowy it is. And it is quite beautiful. So it was an overcast day when I was swatching this, but this polish is definitely very ethereal. It's really special, and I love that Dumicorn shimmer. I think it works really, really well in this base color in particular. It's not really contrasting, but just really complementary and sort of enhances everything, brings it all together, and just makes a really pretty finish. So as you can see, Aquamancy is on my index. I've got Jiren on my middle, which is totally different base color and a different shimmer. My ring finger has Arion, I don't know how to pronounce that. And then it's definitely different than that. And on my pinky, a bit of a wild card, I've got Pretend You Like Me. I thought maybe in the bottle they look similar, but the shimmer is totally different. So if I would say anything about the shimmer in Arion is close, but it just is a totally different looking polish, as you can see on my nail. So it's sort of a close but no cigar situation. And last but not least, we have Meteormancy, and this one is a bright mauvey purple with glowy blue shimmer. So this one is probably the most sheer out of all of them on the first coat. It's just a really pretty sort of wash of shimmer more than anything. You're not seeing too much of that base color, and it will build up similarly like the other ones in 3 coats. But here you've got that super, super glowy blue shimmer that you've been seeing a lot of lately, and I personally can't get enough of it. And I particularly like it in this polish because I like how delicate the base is and how sheer it is, and that glowy shimmer just really stands out beautifully. So again, it's still pretty sheer on that second coat, and the third coat isn't really going to cover my visible free edge. So again, this would look stunning if you wanted to layer it over a dark color, because that would just really amp up the glowy shimmer and make it pop really, really nicely. So as you can see, it's definitely a sheer polish even on that third coat. And while the description describes it as a bright mauvey purple, I guess I agree. I don't even know. That's just such an interesting description to me. And I think this polish is just completely unique. And of course, I will be comparing it. But this one is truly unique in my collection, and even unique in the Bee's Knees universe of nail polish, in my opinion. So I love polishes like these. I could just wear them every day. I think they're really easy to wear, really beautiful. And hopefully you can see what I mean about how intense and glowy that shimmer is. It really just glows blue, but it also kind of looks like a purple shift at certain angles. And I love it. So here, I really only compared it to We Will Not Take His Ass Word because that was the only thing in my collection it really kind of looked like the base color was similar to, but the shimmer is totally different, and it sort of obscures the base color to make it look different as well. So there's no dupes. And now we're moving into some other polishes. This one was also Compensated Review. This one is from Sassy Sauce, and it's called Good Vibrations. And it's described as a magenta base with a glowy blue to violet shift, blue micro flakies, blue to violet, and pink to coral to gold shifting ghost flakes. And those are the flakes that really pop and show off nicely when the light bends through the flakes. So again, as I mentioned, that glowy blue shimmer we saw in Meteoromancy is here again, very similar in the Sassy Sauce, but this one has a more opaque base. It's also just an entirely different polish, but it's definitely having a moment, that shimmer. And I really like the addition of the flakes in this polish. I think it's really, really fun and really beautiful. And I will recommend a glossy top coat for this because it does dry down a bit dull. So as you can see, that shimmer really starts to pop out when you apply the top coat. It really enhances everything, and I just really love the flakes in this polish. I love the polish itself overall. The shimmer in this one is super intense. It's probably different than the Bee's Knees lacquer because it seems a little more intense, and those flakes are really pretty. They sort of show up as pink in some lighting and kind of greeny at other angles, so they're just really interesting and keep you on your toes when you're looking at your nails because they look different every time you look at your nails, which is always very fun in my opinion. I couldn't stop with the video of this one because it really is beautiful. And I did a comparison between Iris You Were Here, which is from a couple months ago, which is a thermal, and Good Vibrations. They're similar-ish, but the flakes in Good Vibrations are different, and the Iris polish has a slightly darker base color. And now Sassy Sauce is also offering a Pride Duo, which comes only as a duo and is packaged up as you just saw. And this polish, along with the other, when you purchase the duo, $5 from each duo will be donated to the Trevor Project. And the intention with this was that Sassy Sauce wanted to incorporate every color of the rainbow, with warm colors in one bottle and cool colors in the other. So Love Out Loud is a sheer purple to green to blue shimmer with ultra chrome chameleon flakies that shift from pink to purple to green to blue to gold. And this one, you can definitely wear it over different colors to make different elements of the polish pop, but I personally love it when you build it up on its own. It's really beautiful, and I love polishes like this. So I'm assuming this is the cool toned color in the duo. And the formula is really good. It's really easy to work with. Again, the flakes come out really plentifully on the nail. You might want to do a little bit of adjusting if too many show up in one area to sort of spread them around, but it was really easy to apply, and it gives a really beautiful effect, as you're going to see in a second. And you're also not seeing right now just how shifty those flakes are, but they really have like every color of the rainbow in them when you start moving your fingers around. So you definitely want a top coat on this. A matte would look fantastic, but I went with glossy, and I'm already seeing, as I just move my finger, how rainbowy this polish is, and I just think it's a really beautiful polish for Pride. It's like a different take on a rainbow nail because all the elements are sort of in here, and hopefully you can see what I mean about how pretty this polish is. It's actually really looking like the Bi Pride flag in particular with the blue and the purple. It's just really, really pretty. And obviously I'm almost mesmerized as I watch this video because there's so many colors going on in here. It just looks so pretty, and it's definitely my kind of polish. It's delicate, but also super shifty, really fun and really beautiful. And obviously I love that it's a Pride polish, and it looks particularly gorgeous in the shade, which is no surprise when you've got so many shifts in a polish. They usually tend to look really good in the shade, as you can see here. And honestly, I couldn't get enough of this one. I just had to show it off in as many ways as possible. And here we have Sassy Sauce Never Dull Your Shine. And this one is the other part of the duo. It's a red jelly base with red to golden to green large particle shimmer and a red to golden green. Oh no, can't even read right now. It's a red jelly base with a red to gold to green large particle shimmer, magenta to blue twinkling micro glitter, and blue to black flakies. So this one has a similar formula. It's definitely sheer. You could layer it over a red. I think that would look really cool, or even a pink, maybe even a hot pink. But you can also build it up on its own. This one, again, dries quickly in between coats. There's no dragging or anything. The flakes come out really easily. And I would recommend building it up in 3 coats to get opacity, but personally, I left it in 2. You can just barely see my visible nail line. Again, if you have longer nails or a more visible free edge, you probably would want to do 3, but 2 works. And here you can see this one's really pretty. It's got a sparkle to it, which I really, really like. And I love the shift you get. That orangey, golden green is just really, really pretty. And again, I think this is a really unique polish. I don't have anything like this in my collection at all that I can think of. It has a really beautiful glow to it, and hopefully you can see just how intense that shimmer is. It really packs a punch, and it's just really special. So hopefully you'll be able to pick up the duo if you want it. There's only going to be 100 duos available, so shop early on the 14th. Moving along, this is the uncompensated portion of my video. We have Paint It Pretty Polish, who continues their What Do You Call These series, and I believe this is the last polish in that series, and Sherry's definitely ending with a bang. So this one is a gold magnetic with a dark purple base and shimmer and holographic microflakes. So again, I'm trying a slightly different approach to my application with magnetics, where I'm going in with 1 coat unmagnetized and then going in with a 2nd coat, and you don't want to be too skimpy on it, but you also don't want too much polish. And then I'm applying the magnet. I'm using a neodymium ring magnet. I believe it's the KB Shimmer ring magnet. And this gives a really, really cool effect, as you're going to see when I remove the magnet. Hold it for as long as you can on the nail. I would recommend at least 20 seconds, but I mean, a minute's even better, just to get the polish as dry as possible. And it is so gorgeous, in my opinion. It really looks like some sort of Star Wars scene, like out in outer space. The gold is absolutely stunning. It's really a pretty shade of gold. And of course, I'm always a huge fan of navy blues, and it's described as a purple base, but to me it looks mostly navy blue. And those hollow flakes are absolutely gorgeous. So this is a really thick formula on this polish, so I don't think you'd need more than those 2 coats as you saw me apply, but I will recommend that you hold the magnet after you apply the top coat, because when it comes to magnetic polishes, if you want it to look like how it does right after you apply the magnet, you want to hold the magnet in place as long as possible, essentially as long as the polish is drying, because that will ensure it dries that way. If not, the polish sort of migrates as it dries if you don't keep the magnet there, and then you get less of that intense look that you see when you initially apply the magnet. And I will definitely recommend this magnet because I just think it looks so cool on the nail. So that's it in 2 coats plus top coat. And it just looks so cool. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't use this magnet all the time and sooner, because I really love it and I've had it for a very long time. So I'm glad I kind of rediscovered it. I just think it's super cool. You can definitely see how shifty everything is. You can also sort of see more hints of that purple base coming through with the blue and of course the gold. It's kind of a really interesting greeny gold, very antique-y. And it's beautiful. What else can I say? And last but not least, we have Rogue Lacquer Tale as Old as Time. So this one, honestly, this polish, was the polish I didn't know I needed. So this one is described as a gold metallic hollow with hollow flakes, and it has a fantastic formula, so it goes on really nicely and evenly on that first coat. And this is really holographic and pretty. This gold is honestly so flattering on my skin tone, and I always have a hard time finding golds that look good on me, so I was blown away when I applied this polish and super happy with it. It's also totally opaque in 2 coats. It does dry down dull, so you do want a good glossy top coat to bring out the shine and make this look as golden as possible on your fingertips. And it is very sparkly in the sun. I don't think the sun was out when I swatched this. I could be wrong. We can see in a second, but hopefully you can see just those little rainbowy sparks that come through. And this is a really pretty, almost bronzy gold, yellowy bronzy gold. Again, I have a really hard time with golds in general, but this one I found to be very flattering on my skin tone, and I was just really happy with it. So it's a beautiful polish. It's also a part of the Rogue Lacquer Beauty and the Beast series, and it definitely gives me Beauty and the Beast when I look at it. It's really hard for me to pick my top picks from this month, but I was completely shocked and super happy when I put on the Rogue Lacquer and discovered that I actually found a gold that looks good on my skin tone. This hasn't happened in ever, so I really, really love that polish and it's beautiful. The Paint It Pretty Polish Magnetic this month is wild to me. I think it is so pretty and it's just such an interesting combination. It would also look really good with the Rogue because of the gold. So just saying, maybe wear them both together. I don't know. And lastly, I absolutely love Love Out Loud from the Sassy Sauce Pride duo. I know it's only available as a duo, which sucks if you don't like the other polish. I think it's really pretty, but the star of the show is definitely Love Out Loud. I was completely mesmerized when I was wearing that polish, and I can't wait to wear it again. So I highly recommend picking it up if you like both of those polishes. So let me know in the comments what will be making it into your shopping cart for the June HHC. Love to hear, and I hope you have a great day wherever you are. Bye.